As someone who is single and childless, the holidays just have not hit the same. So I thought it was very important that I came on here and I did a video talking about holiday sailings. Now, many of you may not know this, but my entire travel influencer career began by me taking a solo cruise over the Thanksgiving holiday. There were a number of reasons why I did that, but one of the most important was what you see in the title of this video. I was able to stretch out my PTO and combine it with those holiday days. So in this video, I want to give you guys some tips on how to do that and present you with Virgin's best of the best itineraries to take over the Thanksgiving holiday. So if you are interested in finding out more about that, be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like, and let's get into this video. This video is actually going to be part of a 3-part series where I am going to cover Christmas as well as New Year's. This video is going to be just about Thanksgiving, and I'm going to share 4 of the top itineraries I found that are near or during the Thanksgiving holiday. Last year, a number of you reached out to me at the last minute hoping to score one of these Thanksgiving sailings, and I was unsuccessful at finding it for you because it sold out. If you didn't know, I am a travel agent, so if you are interested in booking any of these Virgin Voyages sailings, I would be more than happy to help you. You can email me at the email you see listed below. Now, before we get into these, I want to give you guys a couple disclaimers and caveats. Number 1, anything I discuss with pricing can change at any moment. Unfortunately, I cannot lock in Virgin Voyages pricing for you, so what you hear on here when I say the lowest price that you can find for this particular sailing, it's only grab it as you can because it will disappear. So it's just a limited time. Next, I understand that this will not apply to everyone. I know that there are people who don't have the privilege of using their PTO during the holidays or aren't even allowed to take off during the holidays. I feel for you, I understand, but that portion of the video just isn't for you then. Last but not least, when I count up these PTO days, these are not including the day that you are going to fly into Miami or wherever to take these cruises. I always recommend, whether you're solo or with people, flying in the day before if you can, just because it cuts down on the stress and gives you more time in the event that something happens. Now, I used to be a last minute traveler who would risk it and fly in the day of because I didn't want to pay for the hotel or spend the extra money, or I just didn't have the time to take off. And I can tell you 100%, I have had very good luck and not had a lot of instances where my trip was disrupted, but the stress that it brings the day of boarding is just not worth it for me. So highly recommend you go ahead and take that extra day to fly in early, or after you get off work on, say, a Thursday, if the cruise starts on Friday, go ahead and just plan to fly out that night so that you can be there at least a night earlier before your cruise. Now that I've got all the fussing out the way, let's get to the fun stuff. So let's talk about these 4 itineraries I have identified for you for Thanksgiving. So number 1 is the Grand Turk sailing that is on Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady. It is happening November 21st through 26th, and it is going to have a stop in Grand Turk, Turks and Caicos, as well as Bimini, Bahamas. Now, this is a 5-night sailing, and like I said, it's November 21st through 26th, so it is not necessarily over the Thanksgiving holiday. It ends the day before Thanksgiving, which is going to be a Wednesday. And so that means that if you have that following Thursday and Friday off, Saturday and Sunday, that gives you 4 days to recover after your cruise before you go to work. So it is kind of giving you that stretch and that additional time and a really, really good break from your job. Now, this sailing in particular is one of my favorites because this is the sailing for my Friendsgiving group cruise. So for those of you who don't know, every year I host a group cruise, mostly for solo women. We come together, we have a good time, we do brunches together, we do a dinner together, and everyone always leaves meeting other solo travelers. So this is going to give you the perfect opportunity to not feel left out, and it gives you an opportunity to get to talk to me and lean on me as much as you need when it comes to what to do or not feeling alone. So I highly recommend that one. And the starting price as of right now, you can get an insider cabin as a solo traveler for $1,662. And I will tell you about this sailing as well as all of the other sailings for this time period. Virgin requires that you have your your cruise paid in full at 120 days before the sailing. So all of the final payments on these particular sailings are going to be at some point in July. At the time I'm making this video, it is April, so that gives you a couple months to gather your funds and get everything together, and you can secure any of these cabins on any of these sailings for 20% down. Now there's also an uplift option, and what that is it's kind of like a pay in four type company, but they essentially run your credit. It's credit based, and they pay the cruise in full for you, and you make payments to them. And so it gives you a little bit more time, where they may give you like a 12-month period to pay versus Virgin's, you know, having to have it paid in July. So that option is available to you. If you are interested in finding out more information about that, you can reach out to me, send me an email, and I'll be happy to talk to you about it one-on-one. I mean, nothing's better than sailing with me over the Thanksgiving holiday, but if you can't make it, the next best option, in my opinion, is to do the 4-day Fire and Sunset soiree sailing that is directly following my cruise. So this is also going to take place on the Scarlet Lady, and this particular sailing I have done many, many times, and this is the one that goes to Key West as well as Bimini, Bahamas. So you're going to go to Virgin's private beach club, and you're going to get to go to Key West, Florida. I always recommend this itinerary for my new travelers, just because it's the shortest that Virgin offers right now, and because you're just in Florida. So worst case scenario, if you dislike it, you can get off and fly home. So never had anybody do that though, but I do like to just put that out there for you. So with this particular sailing, you are going to get on the 26th, so on that Wednesday, so the day before Thanksgiving, and you're going to actually be on the cruise Thanksgiving, which is a good thing. So if you're someone who like definitely wants to not deal with cooking and not deal with visiting family or whatever it is you don't want to deal with over Thanksgiving, and you want to actually be on a cruise, this is going to be the option for you. Now, this is going to be the cheapest option that I share with you out of the 4 options. And that is because you can get a solo insider for the starting price of $13.54. So if you want to only use 1 PTO day, if you have those 2 days off, you will just have to use it for the 26th, because the 27th is Thanksgiving, the 28th is the day after Thanksgiving if you have that off, and then you have Saturday and Sunday where you'll be returning home Sunday, so that gives you a little time to recover and everything before you have to go back to work that following Monday. All right, guys, so we have arrived at the 3rd option for cruises that you could take over Thanksgiving holiday. And this is where I have to pull out my notes, because if you watch my latest vlog, you all know when it comes to like what ports are included, it's difficult for me to remember. So this particular sailing is called Thanksgiving in the Lesser Antilles, and this is on Virgin Voyages Valiant Lady, and it takes place November 22nd through 29th. Now, this is one of the ones that I mentioned where it is a 7-day sailing, and you would only have to use 3 days of PTO if you have Thanksgiving and the day after off, because the particular day that it starts is Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. So Saturday and Sunday are the first 2 days, and then you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday that you would have to take off PTO, and then Thursday the 27th, Friday the 28th, Saturday is the 29th, and then you have the 30th to rest, and you'll be back home on Sunday. So you'll be geared up and ready to start the week on Monday. Now, this particular sailing is probably my favorite out of the bunch that I'm sharing here, if I'm honest. Well, next to my Friendsgiving cruise. But this particular sailing has stops in St. Thomas, St. Kitts, British Virgin Islands, Antigua, and St. Lucia. Now, if you guys have been seeing my page, you know I just did a cruise similar to this out of San Juan, like this cruise is. If I didn't mention it, this one, it does leave from San Juan. And that was literally the best Virgin cruise I have done, period. I loved St. Lucia. So just imagine being able to spend your holiday, spend your Thanksgiving. I don't know what day you actually go to St. Lucia. I actually think Thanksgiving is a day at sea on this particular sailing. But anyway, just being able to experience that and those beautiful things that you guys saw in my videos while it is the holidays, instead of being at home cooking, Y'all, like nothing could top that. So this is a favorite for me, and I think that it is so amazing that Virgin just added this as an option for Thanksgiving. So this particular itinerary was not here, say, a month ago. It's probably, you know, they just added it. So I think this would be a great option for you if that is an itinerary that you have been dying to do. I have not been to Antigua or British Virgin Islands yet. St. Thomas was nice. I did that on a different ship, but these stops are going to be your exotic, beautiful stops and the perfect way to spend your Thanksgiving. Now, you guys will not believe the cheapest option available for this particular sailing right now. So if you wanted to do a solo insider, you could get it for $15.08. You could not beat that for going to all of those places. If I didn't have a group cruise during this time, I probably would jump on this one. So this is a great opportunity for somebody who really needs some relaxation and can afford to take off during that time of year, because that is an amazing itinerary. The final option in this list is titled Cayman Coves and Jamaican Waterfalls. Don't you just love that name? So this is going to be a 7-day sailing that leaves out of Miami on Virgin Voyages Resilient Lady. Now, the Resilient Lady is my favorite ship that Virgin has because I feel that it has the best shows on it. It is the same ship that they usually have in Greece, so it has like the Greek mythology shows and more of like kind of that Greek feel when you look at each of the offerings they have for entertainment. So I love that ship. This is an amazing ship to get an opportunity to do because, like I said, it typically is over in Greece. So this particular sailing is going to be the same dates as the previous 7-day sailing, which is November 22nd through 29th. So same deal where you would only have to use 3 days of PTO if you are able to take off Thanksgiving the day after. And then, of course, the weekends are thrown in there somewhere. So this is a great way to maximize your PTO and really, really get a great vacation. Now, the stops that you are going to go to, the only hesitation I have in talking about it is I have never been to these stops. Now, Jamaica is high on my list. That's actually number 1 of where I want to go next. But in this itinerary, you are going to get to go to the Grand Caymans, to Ocho Rios, Jamaica, and to Bimini, Bahamas. So, of course, I know about Bimini, and it is fantastic. I love it, but I'm not familiar with Grand Cayman or Ocho Rios, Jamaica, but everything I have seen has me so excited to get to experience it one day, and I know that you will have a phenomenal time if you book this cruise, especially since this leaves out of Miami, and that is something that Virgin had not traditionally done. This is new to them to offer a 7-day sailing out of Miami. So you can go to that same port that you're familiar with, you know, start your cruise in the States if you don't want to go to San Juan, and get to go to some exciting Caribbean stops. Now, this particular cruise for a solo insider, the starting price right now is $15.78. Y'all, another cruise, cannot beat it. 7 days. And if you guys don't know, everything is included with Virgin Voyages except your alcoholic beverages and your excursions. So you can literally get on this ship and really not need to spend anything else. So 7 days, $15.78, like that is amazing. But that's going to do it for the 4 itineraries that I think you need to take a look at if you are looking to cruise over Thanksgiving. Let me know which of these 4 itineraries are you most interested in during any time, and which one do you think would be the best one to do over Thanksgiving. If you guys are interested in booking, you can reach out to me anytime. I would be more than happy to help you, and if you're solo, coach you on everything you need to know as a solo traveler. That's going to do it for this one. I'll see you next time. Bye.